You have not been kept under wraps. You are one busy actor, man. How's that for a segue, huh?
Oh, man, that was pretty good, Dave. I see why you have this show now, yeah.
You have been so busy, man. I'll tell you. And we haven't seen each other in a long time. But I'm so glad we're here and we can catch up a little bit. I remember, and everybody, we all remember when you played Teddy on Full House. My wife loved that character, and I think everybody did because you were Michelle's best friend. And I want to go back. We're going to go set the time machine and go back a ways. Yeah. I want to know what you remember being on the Full House set, because I remember you clearly and your family, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I remember, I feel like I remember more than people would assume. I remember certain sets more than others. I remember being excited when I could go up the stairs in the house because they were so big back then to me.
Oh, in the living room.
In the living room.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing back there, guys. And so as a kid, I'm like, this is so cool. You know what I mean? It's like explorer time.
Yeah.
And then how the stairs would continue in the hallway set where the bedrooms were. I just, from a young age, sets always like, they were just so cool to me. It was like a place to explore the, you know, the fact that they look so real, but they're fake. You know, I just loved that.
I don't think I ever figured out how the steps all connected
How
in
they
the
all
house.
connected?
Yeah, because we had them in the kitchen.
That's right.
We had them outside where the bedrooms were, where the girls' rooms were and Jesse's rooms. Then we had my room in the basement. They went down there. And then we had them going up in the living room and the kitchen, up and down in the kitchen. Yeah, and I remember if you had a lot of people coming into the room, you'd all be huddled up there, and they'd go, "We see your leg, we see your foot," and you'd scooch in some more.
The cue lights, you know?
And if you got a case of the giggles or something funny happened, you know, you were dead sitting up there.
I remember you keeping us giggling with your voices. I remember that. You were always good with us with that.
I was always cutting up, and I loved making the kids laugh, you know, because I'm a big kid, and I would do something silly. Those kitchen stairs, by the way, I broke 2 toes goofing around on those one time. We had a scene. Yeah, we had a scene. It was during the audience shoot, and I was making a joke, and I was backpedaling down the steps talking to the studio audience, and I tripped and I fell down, and I went. Everybody's like, "You okay?" And you hear my voice go, "Nope, I think I broke a couple toes." So,
look at that. Of course you made a bit out of it, Dave. I'm sure the audience loved it anyway.
And I think I said, "I think you better call a tow truck." It was some stupid
this is
joke.
Why, people. But this is why.
So you do remember stuff
I remember
about
quite
the
a bit.
show.
I remember.
Because you were how old?
Oh my gosh.
5, 6?
Yeah, I think it was from 5 to 8.
5 to 8. Okay.
5 to 7, 5 to 8.
Yeah.
I remember the school room, which was always fun. And I also remember you guys coming to visit sometimes in the school room.
We did. We did.
And it was always fun because when, you know, some episodes it was just me and Michelle. And then some episodes we had Journey, we had Miko. So those days I remember
classroom scenes.
the click. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I remember those days being the most fun because you'd have 5 kids in the schoolroom and we're all cutting up during class.
And you guys had to go to class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was that like? It was always a different experience for every kid actor that I talked to about what was school like. I always found that so interesting that you had to be a professional.
Yeah.
You had to go to school and you had to. I always wanted to know, how did your grades translate to regular school?
Yeah, I think for me it helped because my parents were very, shout out to mom and dad, they were very, particular about when I wasn't on set, sending me back to normal school. Yeah. So I had both a tutor situation on set and then I had regular school, public school. So it's also all I knew. Like I was getting tutored at such a young age because I started so young. Yeah. So it really wasn't like a thing or it wasn't like difficult for me. It was fun. You got to go to your school and get the work for that week and, bring it back. And it was all I knew, Dave. Yeah. It's like
And I remember your family being on set.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that because your sisters were there, your mom was there.
Yeah.
You guys were there a lot when you were there. And it always seemed to me like all of you kids were very grounded, and which is always a sign of great parents.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your parents kept you that grounded because that doesn't just happen.
Right.
That comes with some great parents.
Yeah.
So am I right?
You are. Thank you. Yes, you are right. And I think it's a lot of things. Number one, it's our faith. We grew up in church, and to me, till this day, Jesus is important to me. And from that, we learned at a very young age to respect our elders, to appreciate this cool job that we're getting to do.
Yeah.
And also, they taught us at a young age to separate it. When you're at work, this is work. You're a kid, but this is work. This isn't, where your identity lies. This isn't who you are.
So smart.
This is just a fun hobby that you get to do as work, as a job.
And there's a paycheck too.
And you get a little paycheck as well.
Pay for that college tuition.
And they were also in the military as well. So,
one of your parents is from Hawaii?
I was born in Hawaii.
You were born in Hawaii.
They were both stationed in Hawaii. So that's how. And then my sisters were born in Germany because they were stationed in Germany at the time. And then we have a younger brother who was born on a base in California. So, yeah.
That is, well, because we had some kids, you talk about your faith. We had some kids who were the devil that were guest stars.
You're saying the literal spawn?
Yes. Yes, there were some kids where and you could tell there was a big difference. There was a huge difference because you guys were polite.
Yeah,
you were respectful of other people's spaces. You knew when to chill on the set. And that's taught to you.
Yes,
respect is taught to you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I knew you were coming on, I thought back to those days and I thought, those were really polite kids. Aww. That was my takeaway.
I love that. I will be telling my parents that
so
after
good
today.
On
yes.
them. Good on them.
Thank you.
Now, your sisters.
Yes.
Who were there as kids too,
and even guest starred as Teddy's sisters.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what I say. When your family was there, you guys were all there. They also had a very successful series, Sister, a big show. How much did you learn from them, if anything at all? Because you started so young, so...
Yeah, I think we were constantly learning from each other because we all kind of started at the same time.
Right, yeah.
I think it was just a nonstop cycle of learning from each other. And again, it's like, it's all we knew. Yeah. Especially since I was younger they're 8 years older than me. So it's all we knew, but getting to see the other in their environment and then them coming to see me in my environment, it was kind of just like a melting pot of
So they
learning.
were already working, by the time.
Yeah, so basically first it was commercials, right? So I was doing a bunch of commercials.
Yeah, you were the perfect commercial kid.
I was just I think at one point I had done 5 McDonald's commercials and then they wouldn't let me audition anymore because they're like, "You're good, kid. All right, let's give the other kids." I'm like, "All right, dang." And then my sisters were doing a lot of pageants in their younger days. We lived in Texas for a bit before we moved to California.
That is like pageant central.
Yeah, and before it was what it is now, it was very different.
The reality shows.
Yeah, it was way more innocent and not as toxic as it is now. So we grew up in it. But we were all doing our own sort of thing. But they had got Sister, I believe, after Full House. Right. And then before I got Smart Guy.
Right.
And then, I went to do their show a few times. They went to do Smart Guy a few times. So it's always been like that,